everyone. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. It's not raining here, so you know my saying. If it ain't raining in Oregon, we're having a good day. It is a little cloudy. Let me know what your weather's like in your area. Just giving the computer a second to catch up so I can make sure I'm online. Set up pretty good. Let's see. I'm going to jiggle the camera just a little. Try and get it a little bit straighter. Seems like it never is. Let's see. Now I'm just trying to get my screen bigger so I can see what's going on. Okay. Let's go with that. I think that'll work. Hopefully that's up there enough. Okay, this is a customer request. They wanted kind of a way to do sunsets. So the first thing I did was I went, hold on, let me just put my volume up. Hopefully that helped. Let me know if it did. I went to my computer and I said sunset images, and I just pulled up some sunsets. Now, this is a representation of what I didn't like. I tried watercolor paints, and we have watercolor paper, and this was actually Glacier. Some of these are just white, and it just didn't work for me. The colors aren't quite, true hues of color, if you will. I have watercolored before, so I've used good watercolors. These pencils are great for watercoloring, for what we do with cards and layouts and whatnot. And the paints are great in some applications. I just didn't care for this one. I didn't like the look of it, okay? So, just to show you, stuff does not always come out right for me. Alright, let's get that out of the way. So, we are going to be working with 3 by 4.5 pieces of paper. I've got my heat tool, some ink, some brushes. I've got the watercolor brush or just a regular paint brush, some water, paper towels, colored pencils. We're going to be doing some markers, and I will kind of let you know what we're using. If there's something that you see that I don't explain what it is, go ahead and let me know, and I will tell you what it was. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is take my colored pencils and kind of make a background. Okay, so I sharpened these pretty good, and I am using them literally on the angle. I'm not doing this number. I am literally using the whole angle of the side, okay? And one thing I like to do, test the color here, make sure I'm getting the same color as my sample. I think it's this one. Might be a little dark, but we'll go with it. Okay, so on the angle, so you don't get a sharp, because we're going to add water to this, we want it kind of softly put on the paper as opposed to a hard line. That's not going to blend very well when you go to add water to it. Okay, so I'm just literally, why is my screen not moving? Hold on. Why are we circling? Hopefully you see everything. It's either a problem with my computer. You seem to be seeing everything. I hope it catches up. Sorry about this. Good old technical difficulties, don't you know? Come on. Figure it out. Okay, let me go. Yeah. Somebody out there today tell me if they can see, or have I stalled? Because it's just circling. Hopefully this works, and we'll keep going. And the computer will hopefully catch up. Okay, so I am just laying down some color softly, trying to kind of keep it somewhat blended. Kind of doing a little bit of circles, if you will. I'm not going to go down quite as far with this one as I did the other one. You'll understand in a minute why. So I am just layering some purple color, okay? And then I'm going to step it down a little bit lighter purple color, just to have some transition, if you will. Like I said, I just Googled. Need this one. Googled some colors. Okay, so now I want to make sure I get my kind of sunset in there, and you can see I'm going around in a circle. This bottom doesn't matter because it's going to get covered up, but I just want to get some color on there. Ah, don't do that. And I'm going to put a little bit darker, more vibrant yellow. That was more of a kind of a cream. So I'm just blending colors. No rhyme or reason. Let's throw in a little bit of pink. Because you know it's sunset, so sometimes we get some pink. Let's see. And I'm going to mix it into my purple. Kind of want to avoid the straight lines, if you will, which I kind of see myself doing, so I'm trying to stop that. So see here, I'm building up with the pink. I'm going to add some more purple, kind of tie that in so we don't have too much of linear lines that go in. Okay, I think that's good. Let's go down a little bit more just to make sure we don't need it down here. We're going to do some stenciling down here. That's why I keep saying it's okay. We're not going to need that part. Okay. Now, I did the other one a little darker. So remember that when you add water to watercolor, it's going to come out a little bit lighter. Okay? So you can see I'm intensifying some of these colors in some of the spots. Okay. So now I'm going to go in with this big wide brush. I'm just going to get it wet, but not super wet. Okay, and I'm going to start with the lighter color. I need a little bit more water. Because this isn't watercolor, we don't want to kind of making hills and valleys. I'm going to wash that out a little bit. I don't want to mix the colors too much. Just getting a little bit more water. And I don't want to, the more you go over it, the more muddied it gets, and the more saturated the paper is. I think I'll leave it at that. Clean off your brush. I have my heat tool, so I just want to dry that a little bit to make it go flat. I'm going to turn it over and put a block on it for just a few minutes. Okay, so you can use whatever colored pencils you have. The watercolor ones obviously are going to blend with the water better, so that would probably be a preference. I don't know if I said it. If I did, sorry for duplicating, but thank you ever so much for supporting my business by shopping at my website. If I can be of any assistance in that, please let me know. Okay, it doesn't take very long to get a little flatter. And there's kind of what we have, okay? So the next step is to pull in a stencil, and at this point you can do whatever you want with it. I'm just showing you what I did. And I thought I would use this cityscape. This is stencil pack number 1, Z6091 from the core catalog. And I'm going to get that out of the way. I'm going to pull this in. Get this out of the way. I need my ink. And am going to use my masking tape that we have and tape that down. This is the 1 inch. We also have a 4-inch masking tape, and it's really nice because it's sticky enough but it doesn't rip your paper. This is Z4606. I feel like bingo. I don't know why. I'm going to use a sponge dauber and some black ink. And let's see, get this out of the way enough. Pull over the stencil. Do it to whichever side you want. That looks pretty good, I think. Trying to keep it straight as I can. I'm going to hold on to it right here. Let's get another piece of tape and tape that side down. That'll help. Okay? All right. Now, it's just a matter of sponging. At this point, some of these little edges are thin, so I would not rub it unless you have like one of our brush ones. That would be okay. But I'm just going for a silhouette, so the black on this little dauber works really good. Go back and see as it dries where you need some more. And we're just daubing the black to cover and make our cityscape. And it could be any color you wanted. Doesn't have to be black. It's just what I grabbed. Okay. Sorry if my head gets in the way. So we've got a nice image there. Let's get rid of that. Cover up the ink. Undo the tape. Take that away. And you would just wash off your stencil. For now, I'm just going to hit it with a little water. Just spraying that clean. Sorry for my arm in the way. And ta-da, we're clean again, minus the water. Okay, so I'm going to set that over somewhere out of the way to dry. And pull off our tape. See how nice it just comes off? Doesn't hurt anything. Make sure we got this surface clean. I don't think we need these again, but we'll just stick them up here. Okay. So, and it looks pretty good, but it still could be a smidge better. So, I'm going to take my Le Pen black marker. Now, you could do this with a ruler if you wanted, but I just want to hit some of these rooftops and make them a smidge sharper, if you will. So that's what I'm doing, or that's what I did. I just went around. I'll do a couple and then leave a couple because you don't need to watch me do the whole thing. So whatever marker you have, maybe you have a brown one. Okay. So hopefully you can see the difference here to here. It's not as fuzzy, okay? So then it's just a matter of putting it on whatever color you want, whatever card you want. And what I chose to do was black. You can tell this one's a little bit darker, but this one blended a little bit better. And I went through and did all the lines with the pen. And there's card number 1 and a way to do it number 1. Okay, so number 2. Let's move on. I'm going to take another piece of white paper, and this time I'm going to pull in some scraps. I just went through and pulled some colors that were, kind of the rainbow, or sunset colors. And I got some here. This is Wisteria, Shortbread, Sundance, Glacier, and Mulberry. And remember, we have two sides of paper. If you rip it towards you, you get the white edge. And if you rip it away from you down this way, then you get this edge that doesn't have that white core. You rip it up towards you, rip it down away from you, okay? And you just need some strips of color. And the first one I did, so I've got all these little strips that I might be able to use. Right here, okay. So I just went through and, you know, they're longer than what they need to be, which is good. And I am going to rip away from me, not towards me. And I want to make sure that I go just a smidge longer because I can cut it off of the white. I don't want to end up with a harsh line other than at the edge. So you can just see how much you need. Get rid of that piece. So this is going to be my first one, but I'm not going to put it on yet. And then I did some purple, and I laid it down like so. I need a little bit longer piece of purple. I think this one will work. I guess I really didn't need to rip it, but I did. So we'll use it ripped, you know, it's from the first one. Okay, so when you first start out, you have to put this second, what would be the second piece down first, okay? So I can just line it up on here so that I know about where I need the tape to be, and I can put this on my grid paper and know that I need about just about a ½ inch up. So I'm going to use my grid lines. Oh, hold on. I don't know if I'm in camera. Hopefully I am. Let me double check. Yes, I am. Okay. So 2 squares down is a ½ inch. And I want to be just above that so I know that it will work when I put this one down. And you can even put glue or adhesive on there. This one I don't have to measure, I just want to get that edge. So there's that piece. Okay, and then I went with some mulberry. And remember, you can use the light side, the dark side, if you want to kind of do 2 valleys, if you will. Need it to be a little bit thicker, and I think I'm going to do the dark side. So I'm going to kind of mimic a mountain, if you will. Okay, and I can see that that's not working too good. I need a little more of this. Let's put some of this down. Now, let's try this. Okay. Kind of like that look. Oops. Remember, there's white at the end there. Try not to put it down too hard, and then you can save some room that way. Now there's no reason why you can't go and put some of this under here, change it up a little bit. You know, there's all different colors, right? So this one's, they're never going to turn out the same, so don't worry about it. There we go. Now we have more room to do this. That's going to be cut off. Good, good. Okay. Make sure we got glue where we need it. Tuck that under there. Make sure we keep this a little bit straight. There we go. Okay, now we need some of this. It's kind of mimicking our sky. That down. And then maybe we want a little baby mountain. Let's use this piece. And I want the light side. Okay. So I'm just fitting in what I think I want. I think I like this one. There again, I'm going to need a little bit of this in here. Okay. And this in here. And then a little bit of shortbread. Truly, you could, I used scraps on the first one. So, there we go. See, I'm lining it up so I know where to start the tape, where to end the tape. And this one, I just want to make sure I go along the bottom edge of my piece of cardstock, like so. And it looks really funky right now, but we're going to turn it over and cut it out. And some long scissors help us to do that quickly. It's kind of a lot of layers, so just work your way through it. There we go. And we got pieces for next time, or who knows what. And we get this pretty little look. Okay. And I'm not sure what I want to do with this, but I did notice that a piece of vellum over the top of it's kind of cool. What do you think? So here is card number 2. I haven't figured out any words or anything, but I kind of like the vellum over the top, kind of just brings it down a little bit on the color. So that's card number 2. And now card number 3, we are going to use some vellum. So let's get all this paper scraps out of the way. And yes, my desk over to the left of me is a mess. Let's see if anybody said anything. Hello. Alright, so vellum is kind of a little bit hard to see. And we are going to use some markers. So these are going to be the dark part of the markers that we're using. Light yellow blend, gold yellow blend, orange blend. And this is going to be, that's the darker. This is going to be the lighter, which is kind of weird, but I'm using fair skin blend, coral blend, and antique pink blend. Okay. So I did a couple of things here and had a bit of an issue. I scribbled on some color and went to use the watercolor brush, but these are alcohol, so they dry quickly, and on vellum they dry really quickly, and it didn't blend. So I'm like, okay, well, let's try some shimmer brush. So I tried some shimmer brush. It laid down beautiful shimmer brush on the vellum here. Did not work. So I'm like, well, alcohol markers, maybe it leaves a little more alcohol. Sprayed alcohol on it, kind of let it drip and run a little bit, blotted it off, ended up wiping it off, and it totally took it all off, just left a little shimmer behind. Okay, so that's the one that you're going to see has a little bit of shimmer to it, and that's why. again, it's just trial and error, see what works. So for the vellum one, and I just realized that I put mine down upside down. So let's not do that this time. So I'm going to take the darkest color for the sky, and I always start out with the light color. And I'm just going to, and this you have to make sure you kind of just blend as you go. And I'm trying to mimic the other one. Because it is going to dry. And we are going to turn this over. You don't have to, but this is how I did the first one. And then this color is the gold. I'm trying to see what I did next. I think I took the lighter color next. I'm going to turn my card upside down so it makes more sense. And I think I need the dark side. Just to test my color over there. Yes, so then I'm going to come in and I'm going to go up to where I did, making sure that I get some color on there. Nice and even, but kind of sunset looking, if you will. You know, the colors kind of blend all in together. Kind of go here and there. Going to kind of draw where I want to go with these. Making sure it's not exactly a straight line. Color it in, if you will. And like I said, each one of these is just going to be different. That's the nature of this type of look. No matter how you do it, even the paper ones are a little different. Okay. And then I did some light color. Kind of give me a little bit of, I think I need darker than that. Let's go to the medium. Oh, this is my darker one. Oh well, okay. Well, it is going to be what it is. We're not going to worry about it too much. So, we're going to put some more color down. Make sure that we're covering it nicely. Sorry, I didn't mean to take so long with this. Let's go in and add some more. So now I'm totally deviating from my picture because I put the wrong color down, but that's okay. I just want to get some color on here, right? What am I going to do in that one spot? I think I'll go to the light color. Just want to get it all on the background. I think that's pretty good. Now we're going to go to the softer stuff of this color. This is our lightest color. It's the fair skin. And I'm just kind of trying to mimic. So kind of think of like a horizon line, and then it just like it's in a pool of water down here. So we're just seeing the reflection. So we're just going to mimic the shape of this somewhat. Not exactly, but somewhat. Okay. And then we need something a little darker. Like I said, it's not going to be the same, but you know. I'm going to lay some more color. We're almost done. Make some rounded edges. And then go to our last purpley pretty color. always start with the lighter, and you can always add darker, but you can't lift off the dark. So start lighter and add darker. Okay. That's too much. Like it's not. Like I said, it's going to be a little different. More cloud kind of like. Okay. And you can, I don't know if you can see, but you can see that this is dry and this is still wet down here. Let's see if I can catch it before it dries. You can see that it's still a little wet right there. If I just blow it, it'll dry quickly. Or hit it with the heat tool. There, we're almost dry. So that's the back side. That's probably a better look. And when you turn it over, you get a little more subtle look. Okay? So, what to do with this? I'm like, what do I want to do with this? Well, I thought since there's a pretty there, and I think that my friend that wanted this kind of wanted a background that she could add flowers to. So I took the set here, which is current Z4688 Daisy Friendship, and I stamped it out of cardstock, hit it with some black ink, and then I punched it out of vellum as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a small glue dot, and by small I mean really small, and I'm going to put it in the center of that flower, and then match my flower up, and of course I got it off, so you got to find where it lines up again. There we go, and line it up so that sticks that down, and then we can go and color our flower. And I want, where's my orange? Coral. So I'm going to use coral, and that's kind of light, so I'm going to the darker one. That's better. Coral and a little bit of orange, just light orange. And I'm just going to go around the outside. And then I'm going to take my lightest yellow, which is Light Yellow Blend, and I'm going to color in the petals. Maybe you can see it a little better here. It's just giving it a light color, and it is, we are staying on the top. So pick your colors, you know, by that. Keeping that in mind, I guess, would be the best way to say that. So I'm just hitting them with some pale yellow. And then just to define it a little bit, I'm going to go back with the darkest on this pen. I think I did that one already. Change to the dark and just add in a little line of definition, just to break up that color a little bit and make it kind of quick, easy coloring, if you will. So I guess the point of what I'm making is research, look up a little bit of what sunsets look like. Don't be afraid to try something. If it doesn't work, pitch it. And if it does work, great. Now I lined this, I just want you to be able to see what it looks like. And then I just threw this on. So it should have been like this, but mine came out upside down. Here it is. And I just added some dots, and I wanted to, I just pulled out some dots, and I said, okay, what color looks best on here? And I just took the sheet and put it down and see what matches or what's fairly close, okay? And that's how I got those colors. So let's see, take these three out. So this is melon, this is honey butter, Sundance, and nectarine. This is the orange and yellow, and then I just write down in the catalog, in the core catalog, it tells you what the three colors are. So I just write it on here so that way I have a knowledge of what it is. This one is the purple one, and it's mulberry, grape, and wisteria. And since they're on a clear backer, it's very easy to just lay them down, and even this mulberry would work. Not quite the wisteria. Okay, so if we pull this in, you can see where the mulberry would match, and even that's not bad. And then almost all of these, this is Sundance, so this is Sundance paper, but you get an idea of what it looks like. Okay, and if you want to know what the dots are, they're in the core catalog. Just let me know and I will tell you the colors of the ones I use. This is from the yellow orange pack, and this is a melon one. And this one I didn't use any. Let's see, we could, if we wanted to put a little heart or something, we could do, I like this one here, which is grape, believe it or not. But you could go and put some yellow in there. So there you have it. That is today's class. And I will put these back up here again. I always like to know what you like. I'll finish this one up with something. I'm just not sure what I want to do with it. So 1, 2, or 3 watercolor pencils, scraps of paper, markers on vellum. Okay. And that's what I have for you today. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope that I have inspired you to try it. And I will see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.